Welcome everyone, this is MV broadcasting from Cardiff, UK. Another day of the Howie Shanks Bingo League. Running into a bit of trouble yesterday, which we fixed, which is the Cleveland lineup and also the Jersey lineup. We fixed the Jersey one with no problems. That was just an adjustment to the depth chart. That seemed to work. Cleveland have a few issues around injuries. The good news is, and there's only good news, the injuries, when you can see on screen, to Joe Mauer, Ted Klaczewski, Al Simmons. We had quite correctly updated Kevin Mitchell's promotion, which was fine. But when it came to playing the games, Al Simmons, Ted Klaczewski, and Joe Mauer were selected, and yet they're injured. I couldn't figure that out for the life of me. If I just try this again, just to make absolutely sure. When we did this, that is correct. If I do that, that should also be correct. If I do that, that's correct. So that seems to line up, and I played around with it yesterday with a lefty-righty setups. Well, I think we set a lefty one. That was also correct. Sorry, that wasn't correct because it has Joe Mauer in there. So I'll just double check that again. But if you go to computer lineup, so that's correct because it's selecting, unless I'm going blind, the lineup based on computer's version, which is going to take out Simmons, Klaczewski, and Joe Mauer, which is correct. If you load up what it should be, the computer won't necessarily play this. So just say no. Let's make sure I get it right. If I load up, however, what's loaded, that is also correct. But the computer won't necessarily play Joe Mauer. As it says, NA, NA, NA. So it's fixed. We didn't have that yesterday. What I did was I downloaded the patch, the latest patch, and I think that's what was causing the issue. It didn't affect Cleveland because Beatles had already played it with, I assume, the correct patch. My one, I don't know if it was the old patch or not. I just re-downloaded it, but it seems to have fixed it. So thank God I've kept an eye on Cleveland just to make sure they're okay. So that is correct. That is absolutely correct. We did not have that yesterday. So I played around with it last night trying to figure this stuff out. So it's in the UK. It's 11:54, so it's midday. It's probably about 7 o'clock in the morning in Eastern Standard Time. Let's have a look. 12 minus 4 is 8. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's in the US, so that's good news. So you guys are probably getting to work if you're going to work on a Saturday, getting up, turning over, whatever. So I'm hoping that you'll catch this. But as we stand at the moment, Detroit leads 16-8, 16-8 record. Mudville, wow, Mudville doing exceptionally well at 15-11. Des Moines 14-11. Hawaii just half a game back at 13-11. Cleveland 13-12. North Sound 13-12. And if we go back just to make sure there was nothing missed, I know Beatles was worried about it. Someone in the chat, in your chat, Beatles, said there's nothing missed at all. I don't think there's anything missed. Although it says half a game, I think it's because some teams have just played more than others. If I go back to the original scheduled league games, let's go back. It's good that we check it, though, because it's important that we check it. If I go back a bit. I honestly think it was the patch. There was one that came out in March. So here's April. I think we started on April 10th, is it? Yeah. Box, 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 box. That's all played. Box, 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 all played. So the argument might be, well, we didn't do the BBX. I've checked. They're all there. That one's checked. All box, box, box. Box, box, box. Box, box, box. I'm just saying box, box, box to make sure they're all box scores have all been played. Box, box, box. Box, box, box. I think I'm a bit of a mad scientist. Well, I enjoy it. It keeps me less stressed before I go out today and start my weekend. It's a bright sunny day in Cardiff today. Gotta get my hair cut. Gotta get a coat fixed. Box, 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 box. Box, box. Get on with Saturday. Box, box, box. Box, 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 box. May the 1st. Box, box. Box, 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 box. Yep. So far, so good. Oops. Go back a step. Yeah, all showing box scores. As you can see, there's uneven schedule at the moment. Not everybody plays every day, so that's probably why Beatles might be thinking that. So we're in May, so we know we're at May 7th. Just check 3rd, 4th, 5th, and you go back through all the recordings, you can see they've been played, which I painstakingly have done. 8th, that was yesterday, and here we are. So yesterday the game was between Cleveland and Jersey, just to reassure Todd and anyone else that we did change the players, as you can see. Buck Leonard played, Mitchell was played, Joyce played, and Ferris Fain. And Ferris Fain did exceptionally well. So I will look at them again, just to make absolutely sure. I will broadcast the game, or at least look at them. The 9th. So we're on the 9th. It's Saturday the 9th. Let's go back a step, make sure they're all played. 5 boxes, yep. So we come to this one here. So here we go. So we're going to start off with, I tend to not be able to play my team. As you can see, Manchester's not playing today. And this is where the game should start to even up. Des Moines is 2.5 back. I've got a half game. Jersey got a half game. North Sun at 3, 4, 5. So there are 6 teams with half games. That makes sense mathematically, because they probably haven't played each other or they're missing a game, but it's an even number. Nice cold water to start the day. So, let's play ball. So we'll do Cleveland at Jersey. This is the second of a series, I think it is. They started on Thursday. So on Thursday, Brown beat Taylor. Let's see if it goes back 4 games. No. Brown beat Taylor yesterday, game time. Jersey beat Cleveland. And this is the 3rd game of the series. So all played at Jersey. So Jersey have lost the first game, won the second game, and are playing the 3rd game. So Todd, this is for you. Just make sure, and big clue. Let's hope it plays properly. And before I go any further, make sure my headset is in. And it is, and let's go. Thanks for all the lovely comments on Discord. Seems that people are enjoying it. I am keeping an eye on it while Steve Tate, the mad Professor Steve Tate, is away on a well-deserved holiday. Beatles has been brilliant as well at catching any sort of errors, trying to look out for them. I've had maybe a little bit more time because I was off yesterday, and I am 4 hours ahead. So here we go. Here's the test. Here, if it works, it works. Computer lineup. McQuillan. Press Tanana. Go back to, this is where it should work. And it works. It works. It works. So to myself, Steve, and Beatles, making sure that we all have the same patch does help. Because that seemed to have sorted that out. We did not have that yesterday. So thank God that's all done. Let's go back now to Clue's team, just to make sure it's exactly what he wanted. Yes, it is. He wanted George Brett in the lineup because George Brett wasn't getting enough at bats. That is the case. And if we did his depth chart yesterday, Clue, I'm trying to remember it from memory. I know there was an issue with Delahanty. Delahanty's in left field. Just remember that. Murphy in center. Suzuki in right. Monty Irvin. That is Big Clue's lineup. So Big Clue, when you wake up, you'll see that. Jake Stencil was mentioned yesterday. Just telling the Discord, I am live now. Here we go. So welcome everybody. This is MV broadcasting another game here at Shipe Park, 1929 Shipe Park. And this is going to be the 3rd and final game of the series, which is tied 1-1 between the Cleveland Wild Things and the Jersey Blue Claws. Gosh, I gotta remember all the names. So yesterday we saw a really good game, close game, but the Blue Claws led and won in the end. With a few lineup changes for both teams. As you can see, the changes are correct this time. And as it was yesterday, we fixed it yesterday. So here we go, in the field today for the Blue Claws, as they take the field. To applause, it's Ed Bailey's catching today. At first, Norm Cash. At second, Chase Utley. At shortstop, we saw some flashy plays yesterday, great plays from Willie the Devil Wells, Negro Leaguer. Third base, Hall of Famer George Brett. Left field, I think he's Hall of Fame, Ed Delahanty. In center field, Dale Murphy. And in right field, Ichiro Suzuki. On the mound, Frank Tanana. Now, I didn't know that Frank Tanana actually won over. Is that Tanana? No, that doesn't look like a picture of Frank Tanana. I could be wrong. I think that looks like someone else. That looks like Langston to me, but I could be wrong. It's Frank Tanana. I just remember a little differently. But it's Frank Tanana anyway. And that is the team taking the field. And leading off for Cleveland is Robin Yount. Yount is batting .300 on the season. Had 16 ribbies. Had a good season so far. So here we go. Here's the first pitch. The 1-1 to Yount. Yount drills it to Wells at short. Wells over to Cash. Got him. One away. Willie Wells we saw making some great plays yesterday. Frank Tanana, I believe, won over 240 games. Is that correct? I always visualized Frank Tanana being a strikeout pitcher when I got into baseball as a kid. My memory might be deceiving me, depending on his age, mind you. He played for the Pittsburgh Pirates, if I remember correctly. Here's Bill Darling, a man who played for the Red Bolts before. So he's saying Darling at catcher. Oh, Lord. Guys, we're going to have to abort. And that's not a bad thing. It's just I know he's got injuries. Munson should be catcher. So the computer is going to mess me again with Cleveland. Again, that lineup is so troublesome. I don't think there's an error this time. I just think it's the way the roster's set up. So let's do it again. Go into Cleveland. Luckily, the game wasn't too affected. Press computer lineup. Munson's in at catcher, so he's definitely there. I think it's because he's got injuries. So what he really needs is someone to be called up. Heavy Johnson can play catcher, and he's being rested. He's in right field. Munson should really play. So let's have a look at the depth chart. That's the issue. No, that is also correct. So why I picked him there, I do not know. You just have to keep an eye on it sometimes, I think. Just double checking that. I would say he needs to press that, Todd. I think that should be clicked for every single player. Occasionally suffer players on pace to exceed real life usage. But I don't want to overly interfere with the team. But Todd, if you're watching, or anyone who's watching, that should really be on. Otherwise, you'll face a penalty later on in the year, and those players that are above real life usage will go down in performance. I actually think that should be clicked. Yeah, we were told to babysit the teams, Todd's team, so I'm going to do that for Todd. Todd, if you disagree, let me know. That is in case any of your players go over real life usage. If you go here on the usage page, if I've understood this correctly, Albert Bell is just over, it looking like, at the moment, on pace. Boyer's bang on pace. Everyone else looks... Johnson's okay. Everyone's kind of tickety-boo. Robin Yount's a little bit over, but you can manage that, as I have just done. So from now on, Yount will be managed properly, I think. We just have to keep an eye on this. Lady Baldwin, however, is way over, and I could see that myself because I watched Lady Baldwin pitch yesterday on pace to exceed real. So that just shows that if I click what I just clicked earlier, then he will start to start less, just ever so slightly. And I think that is the right way of doing it. I know Steve agrees with that. I think we just left it to individual managers, but actually, now the games are actually playing out, I think we could help manage that situation quite easily. Now that more of us are understanding, certainly I am, I'm sure Beatles is understanding this. I'm not a commissioner, but I definitely am a broadcaster. I would said we can dive in and help out. So here we go. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. So Jersey at Cleveland. So here we go again. Let's try that again. Computer lineup. Ed Bailey at catcher for the Blue Claws. We know that's correct. We also loaded up a lineup, so let's do lineup versus right. That looks correct to me. Frank Tanana on the mound, so we will save that one. That's okay. They are playing a lefty, so let's do computer lineup. Munson is in at catcher. So it's definitely caught the error this time. What is going on? But this is versus a lefty. I'm not going to mess around with it. The computer's did it right this time. There is Kevin Mitchell's been promoted. That's correct. I think it was a bit closer, Mark. MV, you're doing the Lord's work. And I have to do stuff like this. So yeah, that is all correct. So let's do it again. Welcome everyone to MV. I aborted the first start there just because the Cleveland lineup was incorrect. I've corrected it. It was a bug. Well, not a bug. I updated the patch. It's got it right this time. Here we go. Game between Cleveland and Jersey. George McQuillan will start for Cleveland. He has made 5 starts in the year and is 4-1 with an ERA of 3.07. This is his first start against Jersey. This is Big Clues Jersey versus Todd's Cleveland. He'll be opposed by Frank Tanana for Jersey. He's made 5 starts on the year and is 2 and 3, with an ERA of 6.98. His first start against Cleveland. And we know that Ichiro is riding an 11-game hitting streak. It's 80 degrees. The Cleveland are 13-12. Blue Claws are 13-12. This is the end of their 3-game series. It's 1-1. In this series, this home series for the Blue Claws. Here we go again. In this troublesome 3-game set that we've had. Corrections have been made to the Jersey depth chart yesterday with Big Clue. And Todd has fed in what he wanted as well. So here we go. Tanana on the mound. Let's have a quick look at the Blue Claws. Bailey behind the plate. Cash at first. Utley at second, Willie the Devil Wells at shortstop, George Brett at third. Left field is Ed Delahanty, and expect to see the Blue Claws do better, because Delahanty also hadn't been playing until this point. Dale Murphy and Ichiro Suzuki. Here we go. Tanana versus Yantu's had a good start to the season. Here's the 1-1, and Robin Yount drives this to right field. Ichiro's going back, and he has it. So 1 away. Brings up Thurman Munson. Thurman Munson at the plate, batting from the right-hand side. He's up against that great fastball by Tanana. Tanana can get up to 95. Here's the pitch. The 2-0-2 struck out. So Thurman goes down. That brings up Albert Bell. Albert Bell does well in these leagues, did exceptionally well last time out. Welcome into the channel. If you're from North America, it's early in the morning. If you're from Asia and Australia, it's later on in the evening. And from the UK, it's a lovely 12:11 in the afternoon. First strikeout for Tanana. Frank Tanana, coming from the 1976 season, we had 261 strikeouts. He's got a 988 whip and an ERA plus of only 139. He went 19-10 in that season. He's a fly ball pitcher. Got that fastball, got a rating of 95. Here we go. So Albert Bell steps in. Albert batting an even 300 on the season. With 7 home runs and 17 ribbies. Here's the 1-2 for Tanana. And he strikes Albert out. 2-0. 2 strikeouts for Tanana as he walks off the mound. So Frank Tanana looking very good in first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Go to the bottom of the first. And Ichiro, a man who will drive this to right field, steps up, riding an 11-game hitting streak. Let's have a look at those Cleveland Wild things. Thurman Munson is deputizing for the second straight game, playing for Joe Mauer. Buck Leonard is a Hall of Famer. What a great replacement for Ted Kluszewski. The big clue is out. Jackie Robinson's at second. Another Hall of Famer. Yet another Hall of Famer at short. Robin Yount. Ken Boyer, who should be in the Hall of Fame, at third. In left field, the very controversial character of Kevin Mitchell. Center field is Willie Mays. And in right field, another great Negro leaguer, Heavy Johnson. So this is a good team by Todd. George McQuillan is on the mound. Here's the 0-2 to Ichiro, and there's a drive to right field, his signature shot. And Heavy Johnson will pick it up in right field, and there's the first hit of the ball game for Ichiro. Ichiro went 4 for 4 yesterday. Here's Chase Utley, who didn't perform very well at all yesterday. Utley batting .303 on the season. Here's the 1-1 to Utley, and Utley hits this into right field as well. Suzuki's going to stop at second. And just like that, the Blue Claws have got 2 men on. McQuillan is 4-1 on the season with a 3.07 ERA. Here we go. There's Ed Delahanty at the plate. Here's the 2-2. Struck him out. George McQuillan. McQuillan coming from 1908. Here's Norm Cash at the plate, batting .388. Norm having a great start to the season. He's at 27 RBIs. 2 men on, 1 man out, bottom of the first. There's the 0-1, and Cash fouls that off back to the behind Munson. McQuillan is ready. Here's the 0-2 to Norm Cash. Struck him out. That's the second strikeout for McQuillan. Brings up George Brett. Now, George had his first at-bats yesterday. Another player that hadn't seen much action. So with this revamped depth chart from Jersey, things are happening. Here is Brett. 0-2 to George. He lines us into right field. Ichiro is coming around third. Heavy Johnson has it, and he's going to throw, and he's not going to get Ichiro. 1-0 Blue Claws. What a leadoff hitter Ichiro is. 2 men on. Brett at first, Utley at second, and we got Willie the Devil Wells at the plate. I think 293 on the season with 5 home runs. McQuillan looks in. And there is a throwdown to first. And Brett just gets back in safely. Munson there. Let's just make a quick adjustment here to the park layout. Let's see. Let's move him somewhere like here. Let's move him somewhere like there. Yeah, Buck Leonard. Still not quite right. Let's move that a little bit more. Should be more like this, I think. There we are. That's better. Here we go. So McQuillan with 2 out here. Looking good already. Here's the 0-1 from McQuillan to Wells. Struck him out. So George McQuillan, first time I've seen him on the channel so far. And he gets a strikeout. So that's the end of the inning. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. As I get my mouth moving so early in the UK here at the moment. Drink some water. And that brings up Heavy Johnson. Heavy Johnson now batting .314 on the season with 18 ribbies. Here's Tanana to Heavy Johnson. That's hit high into left field. That's going back. Delahanty's not going to catch this one. Heavy Johnson opens up the scoring for Cleveland. And the scores are tied 1-1. That one 341 feet into left field. Here's Buck Leonard. Series tied 1-1. Here's the 1-1 from Tanana, and Leonard hits this to right field. Ichiro coming in on it and has the catch. And that's a fly out to Ichiro, and that's 1 away. Brings up Willie Mays, also having a good season so far. Batting .326 with 8 home runs and 21 RBIs. Tanana is ready. Lefty Tanana. The 0-1. Mays hits it up to center field. Murphy's going back, and hits the wall. Has it, picks it up, throws to third. Mays in at second. And we could have an injury here. Dale Murphy seems to be okay. So all is well. He waves that he's okay. Good play by Murphy. Had to hit the wall, though, and Mays with a double. These two teams played a tight ball game yesterday. Here's Tanana now with a 1-2. Strikes out Mitchell. Third strikeout for Frank. Brings up Jackie Robinson. Just after an average start to the season from the right-hand side, Jackie. Here we are at Shibe Park. It's nice and bright, and the wind is calm. Home run hitters park. Tanana is ready. 2 out. Top of the second. And he loses Jackie, so Jackie will trot down to first. That brings up Ken Boyer. Boyer batting .261. And he's a right-hand hitter. Tanana is ready. Gets a sign from Bailey. Here's the 0-1. And that is hit into right field. And that is gone. A home run from Ken Boyer. 3-run home run off of Frank Tanana. And Cleveland jump out to a 4-1 lead. Suzuki could only watch that one go. Tanana cursing under his glove. Spot check on Frank Tanana's picture. Lovely picture with the labels. I don't know why my brain is telling me that's not Frank Tanana, but I could be wrong. It looks like Mark Langston to me. Steve has done a great job. Steve Tate, awesome job with the photos. Bit of a quality check there. Here's the 0-1 Robin Yount, batting .297. Robin's had a good season. Surprised me a little bit, actually. I knew Yount was a great player, as a Hall of Famer. But he has surprised me so far. Here's the 3-0. And Tanana has lost some control here. And walked down the first for Robert Yount. Thurman Munson comes. Batting 0-1. Thurman struck out in the first. Tanana gets his sign. Here's the 2-2. Munson hits his high in the left field, but Delahanty should have this for the end of the inning. So, after 1.5, Cleveland lead 4-1. McQuillan on the mound. McQuillan has got a 4-1 record on the season with a 3.2 ERA. And here's Ed Bailey batting a paltry .167. Here's the 0-1 to Bailey. Bailey knocks it to Robinson, and Robinson will move to his left. And it's across the line. It's a grounder hit to Robinson there. 1 away. Brings up Monty Irvin. McQuillan is ready. Negro League, Monty Irvin batting .250 at DH. Here's the 0-1 to Monty Irvin. Irvin hits his high, and Mays has it in center field. 2 away. Here is Dale Murphy. And Murphy will walk, so McQuillan walks Murphy with 2 out in the top of the second, bottom of the second. And here's Ichiro, batting .339, and he lined a single to right in the first. So Ichiro coming from the left-hand side, a great bunter. Great hit and runner as well. Don't think any of those signs will be on. Big Clue just standing impassively in the dugout. Here's a 2-0 from Suzuki, and Ichiro to right field, but Heavy Johnson coming in the right field, and he has it. So just a bit of housekeeping. We did discuss at the beginning of the broadcast, some teams are set for usage, and if they're not careful, they're going to get penalized. But I only did it for Todd's team, because I could see Todd's team is going to have some issues if we don't do it. So I clicked it on. So always check to see if it's on or off. That's the on pace to exceed real life usage, because otherwise there could be a decline in the performance. But I did it for Todd because I know Todd's been off. Greetings to you, Todd. Hope all is well with the family now, or getting better. Here's Albert Bell at the plate. That's drilled to Tanana. Tanana with the first catch has it. And that is another first out of the inning. Brings up Heavy Johnson, Negro Leaguer, batting .322 with 6 home runs. It's so great to see the Negro Leaguers doing so well in this league. There's Tanana to Johnson, 3-2, and he loses him. So Heavy Johnson goes to first. Brings up Buck Leonard, batting .271 in this revamped Cleveland Wild thing. A lot of injuries, but they've got some great depth in their team. Buck Leonard, batting from the left-hand side, is 0 for 1, flied out down the right field line in the second inning. And there goes Heavy Johnson, lumbering down the second, and he is safe. So Beatty got up, threw it down the second, and Heavy Johnson, the man Mountain slid into second, and he is safe. So Negro League ball there. Exciting players they were in their era. He's at second. Third stolen base of the year. Leonard steps back into the box and digs in. 0-1 the count on him. And here's the next pitch. That's lined up the middle. Chase Utley has it to Wells. Wells has it at the lineout, so there's the inning over. They caught Johnson napping there. So great play by Willie Wells as he continues to flash his glove in this series. So nothing across at the top of this third. After 2.5 innings, Cleveland 4, Jersey 1. Here is Chase Utley, 1 for 1 now. Stepping in, he digs in. McQuillan toes the rubber. Here's the 1-2. Utley chops it up the middle. Yount coming in on it, throws it over to Leonard, and they get him. 1 away. It's great seeing these shortstops at action, and every team has a Gold Glover at short, except my team, the Manchester Red Bolts. I happen to have A-Rod at my shortstop with a 6. Here's Ed Delahunty. Had a good day yesterday. Man who's hardly played this season. But we fixed that, haven't we, Big Clue? McQuillan looking good on the mound. With the 0-1 to Delahunty. Delahunty dribbles this to Robinson. Robinson comes to it to Leonard. Got him. 2 away. It's a grounder there to Jackie Robinson. Number 42. Jackie Robinson playing second base. What a man. In steps Norm Cash, having a wonderful season so far. Batting .384. He struck out first time up. The lefty waits for McQuillan. George McQuillan into his windup. Here's the 1-1. Cash drills this up the middle. Base hit. So Norm Cash has a base hit and continues to rake. So 1 man on for the Blue Claws. It brings up George Brett. George Brett only his 8th at bat. As we saw, there was an issue with the depth chart for Blues Claws. All fixed. Brett 1-for-1. He digs in. McQuillan is ready. Here's the 0-2. There goes Cash. And that's drilled to the right field. This could go. No, Heavy Johnson with the play at the fence. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 3 complete, Cleveland 4, Jersey 1. Frank Tanana now will come out on the mound for the 4th. He's pitched 53 pitches so far. Frank has pitched 3 and has given up 3 hits, had 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, and given up 2 home runs. Here's the pitch to Willie Mays. Mays fouls that off. So Willie batting .333 with 8 home runs. And Mays 1-for-1, steps back in. Tanana is ready. 1-2 to count. And Mays lines it over to left field. It's against the wall, and Hanty has it. And Mays with his 2nd double of the ball game. 2 doubles for Willie Mays. That brings up Kevin Mitchell. Mitchell has got nothing on the season so far from 5 at-bats. Tanana looks in, gets the sign. Mitchell is ready. Mays at 2nd. Tanana looks at Mays. And actually they decide to walk Kevin Mitchell. Why? I do not know. That brings up Jackie Robinson. Dangerous hitter on his day. Batting from the right-hand side, Jackie Robinson. This Jackie Robinson was drafted from 1952, Ebbets Field. So Dodgers 1952, Jackie coming up. 33 years old. He came to the league as a 28-year-old. A great athlete, better at football and basketball apparently than basketball. Played for Montreal in the, the minor leagues before coming to Brooklyn. Robinson walked in the 2nd. Here's the first pitch of Jackie. Jackie lifts this to left field. Delahante's going back. He should have this at the fence. Has it. Mays will go back to 2nd and then tag up and come back to 3rd. So Willie Mays tagged up there. Mitchell went back to 1st. But Mays is down to 3rd. So Ken Boyer comes to the plate. He had a home run today. A 3-run home run in the 2nd inning. Mitchell at 1st, Mays at 3rd, 1 man out, top of the 4th inning. Frank Tanana will release. Here's the 1-2, and he strikes out Boyer there. Boyer swung at it and missed it. 4 strikeouts for Frank Tanana now. Here's Robin Yount. Yount 0-for-1. Tanana will throw back over to 1st. Just adjusting the sound ever so slightly. Here's Yount. He's ready. Here's the 1-2. Yount lines up the middle. Utley has it. Gloves it. Throws it to Cash. Got him. Nice play by Chase Utley. Efficient play. And that's another out. Score 4-1. After no runs, no 1 hit, no errors. After 3.5, Cleveland 4, Jersey 1. Nice water. Brings up Willie Wells 0-for-1, batting .290 on the season. Struck out in the 1st. Here's McQuillan to Wells. Wells grounds it to Yount. Yount across the diamond to Leonard, and that's 1 away. It's a great day at Shibe. Shibe with that big fence, big tall board with Ballantyne on it in right field. Johnson standing underneath that stand. Here's Buck Leonard. No, Ed Bailey coming to the plate. Monty Irvin's on deck. Here's the 0-2 from McQuillan, and that's popped up by Bailey. It's coming down with snow in it. And it's foul. So that went into the stands. Munson was looking for it. There's McQuillan, but only pitched 7 pitches. There's the 0-2 now to Ed Bailey. Struck out Bailey. 4 strikeouts now for McQuillan. That brings up Monty Irvin batting 200 on the season. Fly to deep left center. He's only had a few at-bats so far. I suspect he'll get a lot of at-bats going forward. McQuillan, Irvin grounds this up to the middle. No, it's a base hit. So a base hit for Monty Irvin. And the Blue Claws trying to get something going here. Here's Dale Murphy now. Murphy batting 253. Walked in the second. McQuillan ready. Is he going to look over at Irvin? No, here comes a 1-2. And Bailey hits us high in the air to left field. And Mitchell should have it. No, he doesn't. It's against the wall. Irvin will come around third, and he will score. So a double. I said Bailey. It was actually Murphy, Dale Murphy, with the double. And now the dangerous Ichiro comes up. Ichiro, I'm surprised he's not batting 500. Every time I see him, he hits the ball to right field. So, McQuillan with the pitch, the 1-1. Suzuki slashes it to third. Boyer has it across the diamond, and they will have him. And that's the end of the inning. 1 run does score, though. 2 hits, no errors. As the Blue Claws trail the Cleveland Wild Things. Here's Thurman Munson, 0 for 2. There's a pitch from Tanana. Wells has it in the hole, throws it across to Cash, and they get the slow-running Munson. 1 away. There's Albert batting 297, ground to the pitcher and struck out so far today. Here's the 2-1 from Tanana. That's hit straight up in the air. Dale Murphy just has to move a couple of steps, and that's flied out to center field. 2 away. Brings up one of my favorite players so far in the league, Heavy Johnson from the right-hand side, batting 322 overall, 6 home runs with 19 ribbies. Tanana looks in, gets his sign from Ed Bailey. Here's the 2-1, and that's drilled into left field. Heavy Johnson's going to come down to second for a double, and there's a double there. Delahanty, not the strongest in left field, to Heavy Johnson on second. 2 out here. Top of the 5th inning. Tanana looks in. Buck Leonard looking to get himself going again for the game. He's flying out and lined out. Leonard digs in. Tanana is ready. And there goes a throw over to Johnson. Utley behind the bag. Nothing doing. Johnson gets back. There's Buck Leonard now. Waits. Digs in again. Tanana gets his sign. Here's the 1-2. And Buck Leonard hits it up to Wells. And there's a ground out to Wells. And it's a ground to Wells over to Cash out. Getting my mouth going today. It's still early here in the UK. Even earlier in the US and Canada. Here we go. McQuillan looks in at Chase Utley. Here's the 1-2. Utley rides this out to right field. Heavy Johnson going back against the wall and has it. So Heavy Johnson got under it there and he puts it away for the out in right field. That brings up Ed Delahanty, batting 275. Grounds to second in the third. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Robinson has it. And turn and over to Leonard. Got him. Number 42 doing his work there. 2 away. Stepping up is Norm Catch. Nearly. He's batting 390. With 9 home runs. This man is doing the work for Jersey. Here's the 1-2 from McQuillan. That's a line drive into right field. Scorched into right field by Cash, and Cash is on again. Wow, Norm Cash. What season is he coming from? 1961, Bricks, Tiger Stadium. Brings up George Brett, but 1 for 2 so far. George Brett, only his second game of the season. 2 men out. There's the 1-0 pitch to Brett. Brett chops it down to Yount. Yount across to first, and Brett runs an infield single. So the speed of George Brett gets him to second, into first. Cash at first. Cash at second, Brett at first. Why didn't Yount go to second there? I do not know. Here's Willie Wells, 0 for 2 today. Grounds short and struck out in the first. Munson puts a sign down. Here's the 0-2 from McQuillan. And that's chopped down to first. McQuillan going over to first. Leonard will flip it to McQuillan. No. And they get it wrong. It's too slow. And Willie Wells will get down for a base hit. Wow. So, Cash goes to third. Brett goes to second. And it's a base hit for Willie Wells. Just went wide of McQuillan there. McQuillan went to cover first. Leonard had to scramble in. And Wells beat out both of them. Here's Ed Bailey, 0 for 2 today. Here's the 2-0. And Bailey lifts us to right field. And Heavy Johnson will have it. And that's the end of the inning. Score is 4-2 Cleveland. After 5 complete. Go to the top of the 6th inning. Frank Tanana and Willie Mays. Willie Mays batting 2 for 2. Here's the 0-2. Mays up to center, and Murphy's coming after it and should have it. And that's one away. So fly out from Willie. Kevin Mitchell still got nothing on the season. 0 for 1 today. He was walked intentionally in the 4th, and he struck out in the 2nd. Let's see what Kevin Mitchell can do against Frank Tanana. There's the 0-1. And Mitchell lifts us to left field. This could go. This might go. And it has hit the wall. So Kevin Mitchell is going to come all the way to third on a triple, as Beatles eternally would say. So Kevin Mitchell gets a triple to open up his account on the season. So 1 out here with Jackie Robinson at the plate. But in 263, walked in the 2nd. Fly to deep left center in the 4th. Jackie digs in. Tanana is ready. Here's the 0-2 from Tanana. And that's grounded to Utley. Utley over to Cash. Got him, but the runner will score. Kevin Mitchell scores, and the Cleveland go up on another runs. It's 5-2 Cleveland. See some tight ball games here. And also with the roster changes. My goodness. There's been a lot going on. Finally fixed that issue, which we think might have been down to my patch, latest patch, and I have to check with Beatles and Steve, see if they've got their latest patch on, and we should have ironed out all the troubles with Cleveland's roster in particular. Here we go. We also sorted my roster as well, Manchester, but we did the sensible and ethical thing and dropped those players yesterday, so there was no effect on Cleveland. And it worked. They've also got the chance to play Buck Leonard and Thurman Munson, who we have not seen before. I think Ferris Fain played yesterday. Here's the pitch to Boyer. Boyer pops this up. Willie Wells should have this. He pumps his glove. And Willie Wells has it. So, 3 down, 1 run, 1 hit, no error. After 5.5, Cleveland 5, Jersey 2. There's Monty Irvin at the plate, 1 for 2 today. Single to right center in the 4th. McQuillan with 92 pitches into his motion. And there is a hit to left field. It's not going to get very fast. Popped up to Ken Boyer and Yount. Boyer waves off Yount, and he has it, and that is the first out of the inning. Brings up Dale Murphy. Murphy doubled in the 4th and walked in the 2nd. He's 1 for 1 today. Dale coming in from the right-hand side. McQuillan is ready. There's the 1-0, and that's drilled to center field, but Willie Mays should have this one, and he has it out here in Shibe in center field, and that's 2 away. Great center fielder, Willie Mays, with an 8 arm and a 10 range. Would expect nothing less from Senora Willie. Here's Ichiro. 1 for 3. Grounded to third in the fourth. Quillen gets a sign. Here's a pitch, a 1-0, and that's hit to left field. Mitchell will saunter in and close his glove on that one to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 6 complete, Cleveland 5, Jersey 2. Brings up Robin Yount now, 1 for 2. Here's a 2-2 from Tanana. And that's popped up down the right field line. Cash has not moved 1 inch. And that is a put out. On the way. Brings up Thurman. Thurman at the plate now, 0 for 3. Here's the 1-1 to Munson. And Munson drills this. This is gone. Thurman, Munson to left field. Takes Frank Tanana deep. And that is out of here. 351-foot roamer. A 351-foot homer. Down the left field line. Hello, Clue. How you doing? Clue, I fixed that thing, by the way, the lineup thing that we looked at yesterday. We were looking at, I think it was a patch, actually. I downloaded, I think I had it before, but anyway, I downloaded the patch and it seemed to fix it. So there was a patch that was released in March that maybe I missed. But either way, it's fixed, as you can see by the Cleveland lineup. Although, when I started this lineup today, it did mess it up, so I had to go back in. But I just pressed computer again, and this time it selected the right one. So here is Albert Bell, 0 for 3. Tanana 3-0, and there's a walk. So Clue, as you're here, you want to bring it, thank you, Big Clue. You want to bring in a reliever, that's fine. Tell me who, you're probably seconds away from me. I'll tell you exactly how many in a minute. You're 10 seconds behind me, so I'll pause. Thank you, Big Clue. You have a chance to change your mind. And by the way, Clue, is that doesn't look like Frank Tanana to me. That looks like Mark Langston. And I haven't seen Mark Langston for many years, but I'm pretty sure that's him. And I think I know what Frank Tanana looks like. Steve might have missed one there. Tom Seaver is coming in from the bullpen as manager Big Clue wants to bring in Tommy Terrific. Is that what he's called him? Terrific, yep. So Tom Seaver on the mound in relief. Not sure if there's a penalty when you put starting pitchers in relief. But this is a Tom Seaver from 1971. He has a starter of 2 pluses, 2 minuses in relief. Here we go. Heavy Johnson 2 for 2. The manager, Blue Claws, trying to get something going here with his team defensively. Albert Bell is at first. A threat to steal. Heavy Johnson doubled down the left field line and walked and hit a solo home run. He had a busy day today, Heavy. We saw him steal a base for his third in the season. So Seaver is ready. Bailey puts the target down. And there goes Albert. As I predicted, Albert down to second. Utley with a tag. And they catch him. So Ed Bailey and Albert and Chase Utley combine to nail Albert. So Albert's down at second. 2 out now for Cleveland. Heavy Johnson steps out and steps back in. Tom Seaver gets the sign. Hands above his head. Here's the leg kick and the 0-1. And that's hit high into left, but Ed Delahanty will have it. So it is, right? So Yeah, I have to keep an eye on Steve and Beatles with my rod of correction. So no, a great job. I mean, I love looking at the photos, to be honest. And actually, when I play my own games offline, I use those photos, and they look so different to the generic photos we all pilfer. Yeah, it's not too bad. I've got my haircut to get today. I've also got to go out and get my coat fixed, or one of the coats fixed. It's a lovely summer morning or afternoon, blue skies. It's a day for cricket, actually, as well as baseball. So after this couple of games I'm going to do broadcast one now, Clue, which is the one I'm doing. Then I'll fast forward a few days, take some pressure off Beatles, because he's probably going to be out doing his music tonight. And he's had a really busy week with the games. Then I'll come back tonight, if I can, and do a couple of live ones. Step with trepidation, though, because of this roster thing, but I think we've got it figured. McQuillan now on the mound for the 7th inning. Here's the 1-0, and Robinson has it, and he will corral it, and over to Leonard, and that's out. I love the way Thurman runs up the line as well. It's beautifully animated. Here we go. So here's McQuillan, Ed Delahanty 0 for 3. So Ed Delahanty, not having the best of days, struck out, grounded, and grounded. So, Clue, if you want to make any changes, let me know. As I see you watching Munson go up the line. So, Big Clue, you have a big task today. You're accompanying your wife while she gets her nails done. You take a book and stay in the car an hour, and I get a free lunch out of it. My live ones, I presume that you mean we're not featuring Arlington. Yeah, too right. So here is Ed Delahanty now. Here we go. There's a 3-1. And Delahanty gets a walk, and he goes to first. Blue Claws fighting back. It's Norm Cash. This is Big Clue's main man, 2 for 3. He lined a single in the 5th. Single to center in the 3rd. McQuillan, though, has been outstanding today. Here is the throw of the first to try and nobble Delahanty, who is a big threat to steal, 19th century player. Delahanty gets back under the tag from Buck Leonard. McQuillan now stares in at Norm Cash. Cash, the left-hand hitter. Munson puts a sign down. McQuillan gets set. And here's the 1-1. Cash lifts this into... No, it's a pop-up. And that's going to be caught by Ken Boyer or Mitchell. Boyer waves away Mitchell and takes it. And that's 2 away. It's George Brett, 2 for 3. Coming from the left-hand side, George Brett singled in the 5th. Got an infield single, and he also singled in the 1st. So this is the George Brett we're looking to see. Has been absent all season. Here's the 3-2. And Brett lines up the middle, base hit. And George Brett with another knock, a infield knock. No, it's not. I thought that was going to bounce before he hit Willie Mays. Mays got it, so that was a line out to right at Mays. I thought the ball would drop, gravity take over, but it didn't. So, to my surprise, Willie Mays just lifted that one off the grass and took away a base hit from George Brett. So we go to the top of the 8th inning now. Buck Leonard in, 0 for 3. Buck grounded to short in the last inning. Here's the 1-1 from Tommy Terrific, and that's hit to right field. Suzuki going back to the wall and has it in right field. Brings up Willie Mays, batting .337 on the season, fly to center in the 6th. Willie just makes sure his footing is safe as he steps into the box. Couple of practice swings, and the Say Hey Kid is ready. Seaver, arms over his head. Here's the high leg kick, 1-0. And a smash to third, and George Brett will take it easily. So George Brett with the line out to catch at third. That's 2 away. Stepping in now is Kevin Mitchell as he digs in 1 for 2 today. Mitchell finally on the board with a triple in the 6th. Seaver kicks and fires. 1-2 pitch struck him out. So that's the end of the inning after 7.5. Tom Seaver did his job there. 6-2 Cleveland lead. So here's the bottom of the 8th inning now. Willie Wells, Willie the Devil Wells, had some great plays in yesterday's game in the field. Here's the 0-1 from McQuillan, and that's grounded to Robinson, who moves to his left, and that's over to Leonard. Got him, one away. Jackie Robinson, number 42. Oh, great photo. George McQuillan now has pitched 7.1 innings, given up 9 hits, no home runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He has been excellent today. McQuillan with the 1-2 to Ed Bailey. Bailey lifts us to right field, but it's a can of corn for Heavy Johnson. 2 away. Shy Park looks a lovely park, an old park, ballpark, 1929 version, with the Ballantine sign in right field, which looms above Heavy Johnson's head. Here we go, here's McQuillan. I would love to know your suggestion. So, big clue, I was hearing Beatles. Beatles, never tell a secret to Beatles. Beatles says, Beatles attorney said the other night, yes, Clue's got this great idea, I'm going to keep it under wraps. 10 minutes later, it was out there. But I wasn't actually listening carefully, so I believe, without looking, let me think. Something to do with the draft, and no, I don't remember exactly what he said. So he says, so Clue is saying, so did you hear my suggestion for the next draft? Adding random teams in addition to random years. Oh my God. So what are you saying? So if we have, like this year, if we got given a year, you're saying give the team as well. Got it. I think I got it straight away. So, yeah. That was funny with Beatles, you know. You don't have to say, you know, we have ways to make you talk to Beatles. He'll just spin it. Over 15 minutes, the whole plan was laid out. It was so funny. I was barely awake, but I heard him, but I wasn't picking up all the detail. Because he gave it in drips and drabs. We have ways to make you talk. So, McQuillan, here with Monty Irvin. Irvin is 1 for 3 today. This is a Negro Leaguer Monty Irvin, not the Major League Monty Irvin. Same person, just drafted from the Major League draft rather than, Negro League draft. We had 3 choices as against the, where he played in the 40s and 50s. Popped to third in the 6th. McQuillan looking good. Here's the 1-1 to Monty. Monty grounds to Yount, moves his right, and has that across the Leonard, and that's the end of the inning. So, Big Clue, I'd like to see. So, here we go. The Big Clue's telling me now what this new idea is. I mean, we are so creative. Oh, my God, there's a creative idea every week. But let's hear this one, Clue. So, Big Clue says, round 1, for example, MV, 1932 Cubs. Right, got it. So, rather than year, just the team. Steve, 2006 Royals. Well, that would be a drag, wouldn't it? Getting the Royals. So, I take it that Big Clue that once a player is gone, just like our recent draft, the player is off the board. Makes it much easier for those with less time, resources to see who is available, and pick someone, just look up the team roster. I'd agree with that. So, just by looking at this, MV 1932 Cubs, I don't know who I would choose top of my head. I guess, did Rogers Hornsby play in that team? Possibly, I can't remember. Without looking it up. Steve, 2006 Royals, who would Steve pick? I don't think there's any Royal good in 2006. Beatles, 1975 Padres. Bear in mind, this is my knowledge, which is a UK knowledge, so I don't have what you've got there. Let's have a look. Yeah, Ken, 1892 Orioles. Well, Ken would love that, wouldn't he? Makes it much easier for those with less time, resources, who is available, and pick someone, just look at the team roster, yeah. At the same time, no one player will have the same season or the same franchise more than once. Well, Big Clue, you did an amazing job of administering the last couple of drafts, actually. That if you're willing to do that, then great, I'm up for it, you know. And while it's accessible for everyone, it adds a whole other layer of strategy to. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this one was tough. I mean, with the strategy thing, I'd have to agree. I love it. Here's McQuillan now. Big Clue regales me with this new idea. Here's the 1-1. Irvin actually got on base with an error. And that one's hit to left field. This one could go, might go, and it's gone. No, it's foul. Dale Murphy took one for a ride there for Blue Claws. Went down the left field line. Saw Mitchell go back, but it twisted foul. So Irvin on second, in scoring position. Dale Murphy at the plate. Drew McQuillan trying to stay on the mound. There goes Irvin, and drilled down the right field line, but to first base, and Leonard will step on first. And then is the end of that little flurry. No runs, no hits, 1 error. We've played 8 complete. Cleveland 6, Jersey 2, and Tom Terrific out here in relief. Here we go. Tom Seaver hasn't even played a game yet. What's going on, Clue? Robinson comes in, 0 for 2. Robinson grounded to second in the 6th. Here's the 0-1 from Tom Terrific, and Robinson lifted to left field, and Delahanty hardly has to move, and that's 1 away as Big Clue continues. That's Cy Poor Murphy. Yeah, Dale Murphy. Hall of Famer, Clue, or not? Here we go, Tom Seaver now trying to keep the Blue Claws together here. Ken Boyer steps in, 1 for 3. He's had 3 RBIs today. Last time up, he popped just really well at short. Here's the 3-1, and Tom Seaver walks his first batsman of the season. And Cleveland, who just refused to die. In fact, if they take this game, they win the 3-game series. It's 1-1 at the moment. Boyer on first. Bailey puts a sign down. Seaver just looking over his shoulder just a bit at Boyer. Boyer has stepped off base and is inching ever so slowly towards second. He sends a pitch or a throw. Here's the 1-1, and Yount drills this up to center field. Murphy's going back, and he has it. And Boyer will trot back to first. Seaver waits again with the ball in his hand. Here's Thurman Munson, 1 for 4 today. Hit a solo home run, a shot down the left field line here at Shibe. Thurman getting a chance to play with the injury to Joe Mauer. He steps in now, right-hand hitter. Seaver goes into his motion. Munson struck out. So Thurman Munson there punched out on the outside corner. Accurate pitching from Tom Seaver. And no runs, no hits, no errors after 8.5 innings. Cleveland 6, Jersey 2. So we were asking about, well, let's get to what Big Clue was saying. Another nice thing about the idea he came up with is that very, very few bad teams didn't have at least one player that could be useful on a championship team. I tell you what, that's a trivia question, Big Clue. Find a team that had a team that had nobody worthwhile. I'm trying to think myself. I don't have your knowledge, so it will take me less time to think about it. How about some of those Mets teams of the late 70s or the early 60s? So here we go. So he says, I'm lukewarm on Dale Murphy from the Hall of Famer. He has a vocal advocate. I agree with Steve that he was overrated. Do you mean overrated in the game or overrated in real life? I could live with Murphy in Cooperstown, but there are 10 plus center fielders I'd put in before him. Well, I just posted something in the Discord this morning about people who should have been in the Hall of Fame or were criminally underrated. I think it was Tim Salmon? Is it Tim Salmon from California, or the Angels, who never got one All-Star vote ever, which I find astonishing. I'm sure that's what the video was about today. And also, I think it was Tony Phillips. Tony Phillips was outstanding in the 90s. Never got an All-Star vote once. Never. Apparently. So, let's continue now. As Big Clue continues to regale me with these ideas. Here's the 2-1 to Ichiro. Ichiro has been devastating in this league so far. Robinson ranged to his right. Over to Leonard. Got him. So, top of the ninth here. Is this top of the ninth? Bottom of the ninth. Bottom of the ninth. Blue Claws trying to rescue the game. Here's Chase Utley, a menace against my Red Bolts. He grounded second in the 7th. 1 for 4 today. Here's McQuillan trying to close it down. Line drive into left field. Base hit. In fact, Utley's going to stretch it to a double. So double to Chase. Utley remains clutch. And that brings up dead Delahunty. Carlos Delgado's another one that's criminally underrated. McQuillan now trying to go for the complete game. Delahunty over 3. Walked last time up. Here's the 1-0, and Delahunty lines up the middle. Base hit, or is that it? Yep. Base. No, it's straight at Willie Mays again. Wow, it deceives me there, Willie Mays. That's a strong drive, but straight at Willie Mays. It was a rocket shot. So Jersey is down to his last out, but they got their best hitter coming up now from the left-hand side. It's Norm Cash. Cash batting .392 on the season with 9 home runs and 27 ribbies. Popped to third in the 7th. If you're going to have a man to bring it back, it will be Norm Cash. Munson puts a sign down. McQuillan is ready. Here's the 2-2, and Cash flies out to left. Mitchell should have it, and that is the ball game. Cleveland take the series 2-1 and beat Jersey 6-2. Here's a dark horse candidate right field better than Simon. Rocky Colavito. Yeah, Rocky Colavito. Awesome. Like I said, if you watch that video, that linked in YouTube video in Discord, you'll see some really interesting ones. There, Simon and Tony Phillips I did not know about. Delgado I knew about. Talk about Rusty Staub. These, I guess, are guys in the Hall that are very good. But I think Delgado will get in. Tony Phillips, though, not getting in was amazing. Tim Salmon was another one on that list. They talked about Jose Cruz, who I do remember from the '86 season when he played for the Astros. I know he played for the Astros in general. But they said if Jose Cruz would have played in any other stadium than the Astrodome, he would have been a dead cert Hall of Famer. Thoughts, please. So, looking at the game here, Cleveland, with their revamped lineup, Todd will be happy. Heavy Johnson's 2 for 3. Willie Mays 2 for 4. Had 7 hits. Left 12 on base. Jersey left 16 on base. So, let me ask you a question, Big Clue, because I'm still learning some of the stats. Even though I've got 30-year knowledge of baseball, this is one stat I don't quite get. Left on base, obviously I know what that means. But looking at, say, Norm Cash, it says 3 left on base. Does that mean he was left on base 3 times, or he left 3 people at base when he was at bat? I wait for your answer. So I wait for a big answer from Big Clue. Big answer from Big Clue. So my question was, left on base. Looking at what you can see on screen, did that mean Norm Cash was left on base 3 times, or he left 3 batsmen on base? So Big Clue says Cooperstown has 270 members inducted as players. When I say Hall is very good, I think that of that as the next best 270 of all time. Yeah, I would agree. Although Harold Baines probably should be the next best 270. Because on that video I sent today, which was pretty much a Hall of the very good, Harold Baines, it was like a top 20. Harold Baines would probably be in the top 5. He straddled those runners. Right, thank you, Big Clue. I didn't understand quite which way it went round. So, Cash, despite being your hottest player, so strategically, what does that mean? It means that Delahunty had a really bad game. Does that mean he shouldn't be a number 3 hitter? Not necessarily, because he's a good hitter anyway. But they're all good hitters. But that gives me a chance now to understand that Monty Irvin didn't leave anyone on base. Utley didn't leave anyone on base. Now, Utley, to me, seems to be one of your best players. When I watch him, that is. Not necessarily when he's being simmed. So it says, look at Robin Yount. Yes, I can see Robin Yount. 0 for 4. When he 0 for 4 with 3 are left on base, it must be runners he left on the base. Yount only reached base once. Yep, got it. Makes complete sense. So, yeah, that makes complete sense. An action PC development. Yeah, because I never normally see that. But it is interesting because Albert Bell, from when I've seen him with Steve's team last year and Todd's team this year, tends to do exceptionally well. I'm just looking at this. Heavy Johnson's doing very well. I mean, this is a one-off game. Obviously, sample size is low. McQuillan, first time I've seen him on the stream, did very well. No extra stuff, no bad stuff. Tom Seaver looked excellent. What? Would you not have Tom Seaver in your rotation, Clue? Let's have a look. Let's finish off the rest of the games before I look at Clue's team. So there's your box score in Badlands at Des Moines. So Des Moines at Badlands. Normally this is a high-scoring game. Yep, I was right. Badlands in that park. 18 runs versus 5. Guidry with the win. Mort Cooper with the loss. There is that wonderful Edgar Renteria again, 2 for 4. Andrew Jones, 1 for 4. But Des Moines was smashed onto another planet by this awesome lineup by the Badlands team, which just doesn't have any pitching. So in the light rain, Aaron Judge had 1 hit, 1 home run. Richardson, who seems to do well against me, 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs. And Charlie Hustle with 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Garrick left 5 on base, so that must have been a bad day for Garrick. Okay. Yeah, well, we'll have a look at your lineup, your pitching, because there's no way Tom Seaver should not be in your bullpen. We fixed your depth chart yesterday. We need to just fix your rotation. Guidry, 3 for 2. Wow. MVP was Chris Bryant. So go to the next one. Mudville and Detroit. Let's go back a couple of days to see what's been happening in Mudville and Detroit. Last game in a series, it looks like a series. Yep, on the 7th. In fact, this is a long series. On the 6th, Detroit beat... So right, it started on the 6th, like a 4-game series. Detroit were beaten by Mudville 6-0 at Mudville. On the 7th at Mudville, Detroit evened up the series with a 6-time victory. On the 8th, Mudville went ahead in the series 2-1. And on the 9th, we're about to do auto. To end the series, Mudville takes the series 3-1 with a 4-3 victory over Detroit. Detroit now slumping for sure. Wow, this is incredible. Johnny Bench 1 for 5 for Detroit in a losing effort. And it looks like Darrell Evans, another, I think they rated him the player that's most underrated of all time. 2 for 3. Fox 1 for 3. And Leon Day, 2 for 4 in a hitting capacity this time. Last time I saw him on the channel, he beat Detroit with his arm. Look at Beatles' team though. Pop Lloyd is back in the lineup after a slight rest. The Babe cannot hit at Mudville. It's a left-hand killer. So, before we look at yours, Clue, it says, adding the teams element to the draft, by the way, also levels the playing field in the sim. I agree. The teams won't be as stacked with legendary talent as they are now. I agree. Again, increases the challenge of the project while making the drafting process much easier for everyone at an atomic level. Looks like Team 2 took a vacation too. Steve's team, I don't know what the hell has happened. How can you... That team is awesome. But I think it's what it is. Mudville is his kryptonite. I'm sure of it. Yeah, I'm sure of it. It's just that one team he just cannot beat. North Sound and Arlington, this should be interesting. And North Sound taking a great 2-0 lead. 2-0 win over Arlington, who just continue to slump. Well, poor Arlington with Honus Wagner going 0 for 4. I mean, Rogers Hornsby, what a bad chemistry. 0 for 3. Greenberg, 0 for 3. I mean, actually, it's a one-hitter. So we have a one-hitter by Wright. He's gone to 5-2. Snuffy Sternwise, 2 for 3. Mike Trout, 1 for 3. And George Sister, 1 for 3. So North Sound with a one-hitter by Wright. Here we are, Johnny Wright, North Sound, 9 innings pitched. You can see these stats here, which I do like. Is that a perfect game? Oh my God. Hold on. We missed something. How does this get missed? On my watch as well. A perfect game, it looks like, on the 7th. On the 7th, told Ramsey North Sound. There's the game. No, it's not a perfect game. Why does it say perfect game? Told Ramsey, 9 innings pitched for North Sound. I think we've had a perfect game. Yeah, here it is. On the 6th. Told Ramsey. No, he did not pitch a perfect game. So why am I thinking that? Oh, no earned runs. Right. Sorry. That's not a perfect game. Why was I getting so excited? Of course it isn't. It's a shutout. I just saw that stat there and I thought, oh, perfect game. But it's a walk anyway, so it would have been a no-hitter. But it didn't say anything about hits. Okay, that makes sense. So back to Saturday the 9th. There we are. Box. Let's just do the 10th one. Big clue, I'll just continue. A one-hitter. Well, we're definitely seeing a one-hitter, that's for sure. Johnny Wright's doing great, absolutely. I've never heard of him until this season, until I play this. So I will wrap up the stream in a moment before we look at but I will look at your rotation, Big Clue. Jersey at Hawaii. Should I leave that till tonight? No, let's go for it. Let's push on. Jersey beat Hawaii 15-5. 15-5. So your bats come awake, Big Clue. Hawaii now in a slump at 13-12. Juan Soto continues to rake. Ichiro is 1 for 5 this time round, but your team, where is Brett? So it's fixture lineup, as you can see. Well, one hitter in this league is amazing, Clue. Verlander, 3-1. But Clarkson went 9 innings pitched as Big Clue's Jersey take down Hawaii. Detroit and Arlington, that should be an easy victory for Detroit. Yep, and just as predicted, Low goes to 2-0, Vida Blue goes 0-4 as Arlington continue to wash in Lifebuoy soap. They really need it. They're really cleaning up. Honus Wagner and Roger Scoresby and Hank Greenberg. What are the odds of them playing so badly? I'm sure that's a park matchup thing. Steve Tate, Fred Dunlap continues to rake. Barry Bonds continues to rake. Hank Aaron in the leadoff position in that particular game. So he must be resting some players. Excellent. So, box. Mudville at Cleveland. Good game coming up here. And Mudville win again. The Beatles must be delighted with this. And a quick look at it. Pop Lloyd went 1 for 2. George Foster 2 for 3. Willie Mays 2 for 2. Wood, Smokey Joe, is dropped off 1 and 4. Is that Dick Ellsworth? 5 innings pitched. Wait a second. What's going on here? This is a rainout, is it not? Big Clue, I'll wait for you to look at this. Look at this. I don't know what's going on. I've done some strange... Maybe because I broadcast a lot in the last couple of days, but I'm seeing some strange stuff. This only has 5 innings pitched. Yeah, Beatles is doing brilliant. But look at this one. What is going on here? This must have been a rainout. Is that right? They called the game early. Have you seen that before, Big Clue? In the Action PC. I've never seen it in anything I've ever played. I've seen rain delays, but never a rainout. So, Mudville and Cleveland, welcome to the Hall of Infamy in Action PC, because I've never seen that before. Yeah, in any sim, I've been playing Spaceball sims now since including board games, since 1989 maybe. Never seen that before. And if you talk about computer sims, yeah, the 80s, going back to Earl Weaver, Micro League Baseball. Never seen that, and that's just by looking at the box scores, and we spotted it. Wow, look at that. Beatles, a called game in which you were ahead, and poor Cleveland takes the loss. Well, okay. A called game in Beatles' favour. North Sound and Des Moines, let's do that. Oh, I've got to play that one, haven't I? I can't. Not right now, I can't, and I don't want to miss. I'd like to do days at a time. So let's have a look. Whoa, Des Moines 1, North Sound 2. Oh, matchup of Carlton and Koufax. And Koufax comes out on top. Koufax went 9 innings, 3 innings, 3 hits, gave it up. And he had his stuff today, a plus. Carlton dropped to 2-2. That's a good ball game. Braun went 1 for 3. And Des Moines didn't have anybody with any star work. Good stuff. Box. Done. Just racing through to see if there's anything I need to do. Right, I'm going to stop it here. Because now the league should even itself out in terms of games played. Okay, let's have a look. Standings. And let it refresh. Refresh. It's not refreshing. Why is it not refreshing? That should refresh. Why is it not refreshing? Okay. Snapshot. Take that off. Snapshot. Do it on leaders. Now it's refreshed. There we go. So Detroit stay at 17-9. Mudville a game back at 17-11. Des Moines 14. So it's all cramping up here. Jersey, you're just behind my good Manchester Bolts, Red Bolts. Badlands and Arlington still holding back. Just to check the days to make sure I've not missed anything. Because I know I haven't. May the 9th was only 4 games. Just go back a tick just to make sure. Integrity check, clue. Gotta do those checks. 4 games. Where were we? We're the 9th, right? So the 9th. 9th was 4 games. Friday was 5 games. We're good. So I'll stop it there. Export that in case Beatles gets to the game before I do. And Clue, let's have a look at your rotation very quickly before you do your nails. Not you do your nails, your wife does her nails, so spare me a minute. So the pitching leaders are Johnny Wright, 235 ERA, 5-2. My Zach Greinke is 3-1. Good stuff. Jersey, not on the board. McQuillan, Braxton, Marbury. Dwight Gooden leads the league in 48 strikeouts. Fred Dunlap is the league leader in hits for Detroit. McGuire for Detroit. Right. I think your drafting idea, I mean, they're all good ideas, Clue. The one we're doing now is excellent, but I really like your one as well. I was even thinking today, I really would love to see it. I know Beatles is thinking of doing a Ned McGreevy too. Let's put all these links together in one go. Maybe they could run simultaneously on different channels, I don't know. Here we are. Just looking at the batting leaders on here. A bit more detail if you want to have a quick look. For Jersey, Noel Cash is 4th in the league. Manchester's Josh Gibson is doing okay, and there's Tommy Tucker. Gibson, and 8 hit home runs. Chris Bryant, 32 RBIs, looking good. I doubled my tandem of stolen bases. I need to be more aggressive, maybe. So that's that. So let's have a look at your one before I go. Jersey. We know your lineup is correct. We know your depth chart take care of everything. We've saved your lineup, Big Clue. So let's have a look at your rotation. Because that cannot be right. So, Koufax surrendered 0 earned runs in that game. As Bart would say, nice. High five. High five. Koufax surrendered 0. I'm glad you love Borat, by the way. That is, I know Britain, we're the UK, we're known for our comedy. That, even the one he did during the pandemic, I thought was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. Sacha Baron Cohen is a modern day genius. And if you see him in other films where he actually plays really serious parts, you see what great actor he actually is. So, Big Clue doing some maths. I did the maths from 1880 to 2022. There are just under 3,000 MLB team seasons to draw from. Eh? That can't be right. How can that be right? That can't be right, Big Clue. That's maths is not right. How can it be 3,000? You're close. You mean players, I think. I think you mean players, right? I did the maths from 1880 to 2022. There are just under 3,000 MLB team seasons. Because wouldn't that be 100 and... You have to mean players, right? Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. If we have 10 teams at 30-man rosters, that's only drafted from 300 of those teams. Just 1% of the total. It's 10%, right? Got you. Yeah, no, that makes sense, Clue. I'm all for it. I know Beatles is keen on another type of league. But like I said, we could run these things simultaneously and be part of both leagues at the same time. How would all find the time? I do not know. But it would probably need one broadcaster because it gets a bit tricky. One broadcaster, ironically, could be a bit faster than three. Although the burden on one is greater than the burden on three. So, for example, this week we've not had Steve, but Beatles, and I wasn't available for a couple of days this week myself. So Beatles took up the heavy work, and then I took up the slack, and I'm sure Steve will do the same when he gets back. Although I suspect Steve just needs a little bit of a break because he's literally done so much work with this stuff. He must be burnt out a little bit. But maybe he'll come back refreshed. So, looking at your rotation, Big Clue. No, I hear you. I definitely get the season thing. I mean, I like it. Say, for example, you got 1927 Yankees. Who would you choose? Or, it shouldn't be that hard, actually, to be thinking about it. But it's the strategy behind it when you're doing your roster. Say, for example, I like to start off with pitchers. I really do. And I got given, I don't know, 1986 Mets. Well, that's too easy. That's Dwight Gooden. Let me give you another one. Say 1987 Mets. Then, who do I go with? You know, who had a good season for the Mets in 1987? It's easier to research, for sure. But then you've got to choose a player from that team that was any good. Especially if you get a bad team. Say the 62 Mets. Who the hell are you going to choose? So, yeah, it's I do like it a lot. The other way of doing it, Big Clue, I felt was same as we've just done now, but rather than use from seasons, let it be from, it could be from seasons. We get given the year, so still choose the player, but choose the player from the baseball history collection. So it's a slice. That way it's a little bit more even. Although I do like this as well, to be fair. They're all good. I tell you what we could do, Big Clue, is do a little test league in the background. You know, you've got Action PC. You definitely could show us that on Discord, because I've worked out you can. I didn't realize you could show your desktop on Discord, like Teams. So you can do that. I did it with Steve the other day. But let's fix this rotation, shall we? Because your rotation is not right. So tell me who you want as your rotation, Big Clue, and we'll get that fixed. No team, so let's have a look. Getting a great team doesn't help because you're only getting one player from it. I agree. And I'm thinking to myself, how would I do the 87 Mets, which I'm not familiar with? I'm familiar with 88 and 86. It's the same players, but I just know they didn't have a great season because of injuries. You know, who do you choose? Trying to think of a team that I know really well. Say it was a 98 Yankees. Who would you choose? Tino? Would you choose Derek Jeter? Would you choose Paul O'Neill? Bernie? They're all good in that season. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting concept. The obvious Hall of Famer is, let me think, on that team. Any pitchers on that team a Hall of Fame? Andy Pettit's not a Hall of Famer, is he? I don't think so. Clemens was in that area. I don't think he played in the 98 team, though. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting to look at it from that point of view. The year still, yeah, so I have to say, the more I think about it, the more I like it. Because say, for example, you've got Toronto Blue Jays, 1989, where they had two great relief pitchers in the same team. you have Henke, and you have Mark Eichhorn. And Eichhorn is nearly unhittable in one of those seasons. Who would you choose? Yeah, 1987 Mets. Yeah, let me just save this so I don't lose it. It saves itself automatically. BBMV Shanks 05023. So that's, I don't want to lose that because everyone will just kill me. And then what we'll do is import. Remind me of that one. BBMV Shanks. That's the last one. So import season, right? So active season. I've got all the seasons here somewhere. 1987, right? Nope, don't have it in there. Let's have to import it. Import. Install. There you are. Install. Remind me of this BBBM stuff. I don't lose. I'm looking at the screen thinking Detroit was 17-9. That's what I need to remember. Okay, so downloads. Where is it? God. Seasons. There we are. Gosh, I've forgotten how to do this. Complete collection. Yeah. Yeah. 1987. Is it 87? 87 Mets. Okay. Install. Alright, so here we go. So 1987. New York Mets. Look at those legends. Oh, just love this team. Right. So I've done that. 87 Mets. I'll throw in a random year and you can pick a player from each roster. So you can make a team out of it real quick and see how it works. Yeah, go for it. So I picked up 87. Who would I pick from 87 though? Is interesting. Let me have a quick look while you throw out a random number. Keith Miller, maybe? Darryl Strawberry? Oh, Mel, leave me alone. Sorry, the other half is calling. Right in the middle of a broadcast. She's just have to wait for a second. Baseball prevails. 1 second. I'll throw out a random year and you pick a player from each roster. And you make a team out of it real quick. Choose your player. So from this one, let's see. Darryl Strawberry maybe? Because that's easy enough. Because I'm thinking offensively, I don't like Strawberry because he strikes out. But his OPS is 981, right? If I go to pitchers, I know they're always good at pitching that year. But were they good that year? That's the thing. I know they weren't great. Why's it saying Bob Gibson? There must have been a Bob Gibson playing for New York. Anyway, there must have been a Bob Gibson playing for New York. It's not the one we know. Right, Bobby Ojeda would not be my pick. Gooden. None of them. I'd have to go for an offensive player. Now, because I've got 25 picks, or whatever picks, how many picks, would I go for an offensive player like Darryl Strawberry? Possibly, but I like Strawberry the person, but do I really want to play with him at an OPS of 160? Not bad. Is Tim Toffler any better? Probably not. Lee Mazzilli, let's look at the OPS plus. I'll be very quick. Howard Johnson, no. And neither would Dykstra or Hernandez, who's my favorite player of that team, because they were just past their peak now. After 86, 87 was just a bad season, that's all. The famous Wally Backman, no. Gary Carter, no. I'd have to go with Keith Miller as a sort of utility player, maybe. Gary Carter, no, there's no one good. And you're right, it is tougher. Kevin McReynolds, no. I would go with probably Strawberry. Because it is one of Darryl's better years, if truth be told. Yeah, Darryl Strawberry. There you go. Hi, Rob. Yeah, Mel. So, yeah, Mel is, yes, I won't say any more than that. So the rounding year was 87. So here we go. Morning, Rob. We fixed an issue with your Cleveland team, I think. No, only Cleveland. Des Moines is okay. So we were just playing around now with some other stuff. Hi, Rob. Good to see you. So big clue, yeah, Straw would be my right fielder. Yeah. Reluctantly, but there's no one else. 1970 Dodgers, okay. Okay, so I've got a right fielder, right? So install season. $1970. Okay, which team? Top of the morning to you, Rob. Okay, so 1970 LA, right? Okay. Los Angeles Dodgers, right? Who would I pick? Straight away, using my little formula of OPS. My God, who are these players? I didn't recognize half of them. I recognize half of them, the other half I do not recognize. But OPS wise, the best starter, well, who's this guy? Billy Grabarkowitz. Never heard of him. No, 144 OPS, not bad. Knowing the Dodgers, though, the better players will probably be their pitchers. Drysdale, would he still be around at this point? Probably not. No, nobody good. Whip. You're right, it is tougher. It's definitely tougher. Don Sutton's a recognizable name. Player I'd probably look for is Pete Mickelson. God, he looks like, what's his name? The guy that played Ricky Vaughn. Wow. So this guy might be the guy in relief just because he's the best I can think of in that team. Hitters? Yeah, we're just doing a thought exercise here. Could do with someone like Manny Mota. Mota. Watched the film Airplane when I was a kid. Didn't know who he was then. Wow, clue. I would go with, just to wrap it up, I would go with, because it's definitely tougher. Wes Parker, maybe? Yeah, Wes Parker. Wes Parker. Wes Parker, clue. That's who I'm going with. Wes Parker. Parker. They weren't very good in 1970, were they? Yeah. So it's tough already. There's no stars here. Oh, you're joking. 2016 Detroit. Jesus. No, is it 1916 Detroit? That should be better. Still 19. I think I've got that loaded already. Nope, I don't, funny enough. Was it 1916 Detroit? Here we are. 1916 Detroit Tigers. Okay, that should be better. Straight away, one catches my eye. Harry Kovaleski. Harry Kovaleski, I don't think was a Hall of Famer. He can do everything, so that would have been good so far. That's the one that catches my eye. But, of course, there he is. Straight away, it has to be Ty Cobb. Yeah. Is this his best season, though? His 182 APS, he gets the nod. Ty Cobb, that one's easy. But it's just not as easy. You're right, it's not as easy. Because you have to think really carefully. If I didn't want to waste a Hall of Famer and say Ty Cobb, and why wouldn't I? It's a great season. You know, there are other players on that list like Sam Crawford, I do know is pretty good. There's also, Sam Crawford, Bobby Veach. Pitching wise, Stan Kovaleski, I think, is it Kovaleski? Harry Kovaleski I would have liked. But not many others. So, yeah, you're right. It's tougher. It's much tougher. 1938 Pirates, okay. Install season. 1938? Okay, so Hall of Fame rule. Well, yeah, because I'm thinking Hall of Fame rule will make it even tougher. Here we are. Oh, interesting. Install season. 1938. Here we are. 1938 Pirates. Oh my god, this is tough. So will we have the same timing system that we've got this time, Big Clue? So here we go. So looking at the whip again, straight away, Bob Klinger would be the best pitcher, but the Pirates are not very good, are they? I can tell. OPS wise, it'll probably have to be Johnny Rizzo, but I have a right fielder already. I know who Johnny Rizzo is. 144 OPS. Wow, it's tough. It's really tough. I think I know who Beatles would go with. Do you know what, Clue? The fact that I feel uncomfortable means I'm way outside my comfort zone. But number two, it's because it's hard. Archie Vaughan. Well, I didn't see him. Yeah, I see him now, of course. I'm going on OPS, and that OPS of 140 is pretty good. Johnny Rizzo, 144. Archie Vaughan is the better known player. Well, they're both well known, but Archie Vaughan, isn't he the second best shortstop of all time? But his double play pivot is 7. He's an 8 shortstop. Johnny Rizzo is only a 4. So yeah, Archie Vaughan definitely would be the better choice of the two. But you really have to study, you have to know your team. I think it's a great way of learning about baseball. For me, someone like me who does know a bit. Johnny Dickshot. There's my schoolboy humor coming out. Nice. Anyway, so Big Clue says, but that's the point. All of us would be the same outside the comfort zone. Yeah, it definitely felt uncomfortable making these picks, and it gets harder the deeper the draft you go. Yeah. No, it's as a GM, it brings out your inner GM out of you even more than what I thought was tough with the one before. Without a doubt. I mean, that's tough, man. That is tough. So we could do a trial of it, maybe. What we could do, if you send me, or do your own list and Rob himself, whatever. I mean, Beatles, I'm sure we'll get into. I just know that Beatles wanted to do the Dead Ball League again at some point in July, I think he said, or June. But I know this is a little. It could run on another channel. You know, maybe Clue, it's time to hear your dulcet voice, your dulcet tones. I'd be happy to do it as well because I quite like practicing this calling of games and stuff. Yeah, all you have to do is pull up a team roster at the start of the round, and then you take your time. So let me choose another. Give me another team from 1938, just quickly, if you don't mind. It could be anybody. In fact, I can do it myself because I know Philadelphia is at the bottom, both Phillies. This is the Philadelphia, led by Jimmy Wilson, the Philadelphia Phillies. And gee, God help you if you get this team. Syl Johnson will be the first on my list of players to consider. Only because I'm going on whip and then hitters. I'll go with OPS first. In fact, this is not the way I actually do it. I do it in a completely different way. I do reports. So reports are up here. And then you look at the roster. No, that's not it. I do it for the league normally. Reports, view roster. That kind of gives me something. That's not it. There's another way of looking at this anyway. Phil Weintraub, Maury Arnovich, Heine Mueller, Chuck Klein. I know Chuck Klein is, but this Chuck Klein is not the Chuck Klein I know. And I think Lefty O'Doul was in earlier on in the decade. So this would be hard. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start. I mean, I'm already uncomfortable thinking, who the hell will I pick? Bearing in mind I've got a right fielder and a left fielder, I would literally be crying at this point. Think strategically, I'd say to myself, and say, right, this has to be a backup player, as simple as that. Or, like I said, Sil Johnson, is he the best one I could pick in the pitching? No. Al Hollingsworth, maybe? No. Look at these whips. Shocking. Okay, so Clue, here's another question. What about ballparks? Do you take the ballpark of that team? You probably should. 1938 Boston Braves. Is that the Braves or is that the Red Sox? That's the Boston Braves here. So you said Boston Braves. Lou Fett. Why Lou Fett? Is he good? Is it Lou Feety? It's not Lou Feet, is it? It must be Lou Fett, like Boba Fett. I think it's definitely competitive. What about ballparks in the? Do you know what I really like? I love the fact it's got the managers in there. And do you know what I was actually thinking the other day in an idle moment? Is I don't think the managers are actually put in with their profiles. We could easily create them. It's not that hard to create Casey Stengel. Based on the Bill James book that we both know. I mean, that's been going really far. But yeah. All right, that's so cool. So, Clue, what are you going to do then? Are you going to keep it? Are you going to run it? Because, like I said, we could run 2 leagues at the same time. I mean, that's overkill, mind you, but we could do it. It's a nice project to do while we wait for the next broadcast of, say, I don't know, the league we're in now, for example, the Howie Shanks, which is established, and we all know how to use that one. But I do like it. I might do a little test, Clue. Or you want to do the test, that's even better. Well, we just did a test just now. It's tough. It's really tough. So let me see if I can go back to before I lose the game. Because, I've lost it already. Bear with me. Baseball. See my picture of Lou and Chuck there in the side there? I'm a nutter. Now then, I've got to find the game we were actually in. It's this one. Yes, thank God. I don't want to lose that file. Nice idea, Big Clue. Nice idea. Oh, she's done a mock draft already, just not doing a mock sim. Chicken. So just to wrap up the stream as it's lunchtime over here, it's coming towards the end of lunch, and my particle is already on my case. So I better go out and pretend I've been doing work all day. I will wrap it up, but before I go, Jersey, if you give me your pitching lineup, remember, Blue Claws, you don't have Tom Seaver, so let me know what you're doing. Tell me what you want in your rotation, Clue. Yeah, I think you've got great idea, Big Clue. Great idea. I mean, Steve's back, but great idea. It's a Clue. What do you want to do? With Seaver and Lever and Hubble and Quinn and Kershaw and Brown and Taylor, give me your starting rotation so I can keep it in the league file, and then I can pass it on to Beatles at a later date. It should go through with the PBX, actually. Okay, so Russ Ford. Russ Ford starting for the Blue Claws. Carl Hubble, the Screwball King. Tommy Terrific. Third, Tom Seaver. Clayton Kershaw from 2014. Clarkson, John Clarkson. What a staff. Any spotties? Any spot starters like Kevin Brown or whoever? Frank the Banana Tanana. Taylor is number one. Long reliever. Okay. Yeah. What else do you want? So Taylor is a long relief. You've got your rotation set with Taylor being a spotty and a long reliever. Taylor Tanana. So Taylor, right, got it. Taylor Tanana, Frank Tanana here. We just saw Frank Tanana. Brown. This is a really interesting. So all this time you never had your proper lineup. Keep going. Henry is closing on both sides. So going into the bullpen, Henry, which Henry is this? Bill Henry, the Chicago Cub. I'm familiar with him now. Yeah. Tanana and Brown in middle relief. So same setup, or so Brown, I guess, would be versus right. Tanana versus left. Taylor long relief for both. Taylor's a long relief already. I've got him there. Yeah. Henry closer on both sides. Yep. Tanana Brown middle relief. Yeah. Taylor long relief so far. Yep. Does Taylor work in a blowout as well? So Jack Taylor, if anyone was wondering who Jack Taylor is, for the Blue Claws. Welcome everyone in the chat. It's been a long broadcast, a breakfast broadcast here, as I'm broadcasting from the UK, 4 hours ahead Eastern Standard Time, 5 hours ahead of Mountain Time, and if you're Pacific Coast, I haven't got a clue. But I'm on Greenwich Mean Time. It's now 12 minutes to 2. Right, got it? Yes, so Taylor long relief, nope. And please make sure all these relievers are allowed to be used in relief. Yep, that's just relief. So Taylor left and right for both. Right, got it. Yeah. That setting needs to be changed for Brown and Taylor left and right for both. Right, so just let me catch up with what you're saying. You don't get blown out often. Yeah, got it. Change Brown to now setting to allow relief preparators. Okay, got it. So I'm getting to become an expert at this, thanks to Steve. What does it say? Using relief. So you're able to use them in relief. Pitching manager, here we go. Doesn't have any limitations on it from what I can see for Jack Taylor, so because he can do both, that makes sense. Frank Tanana, on the other hand, Tanana will have some restrictions, I think. No, he doesn't. Don't pitch in blowouts. Offense, defense, pitching. Here we go, pitching. Allow, so he can pitch in relief. Tanana. So it's basic, and so that's Brown and Tanana. Taylor, Henry. What about Henry? Henry's a reliever anyway. So wouldn't you mean that Hubble and those guys don't get used in relief? Don't pitch in blowout. That's fine. I think they're already set anyway. Just double checking. And I'll check it afterwards as well. So I think I've got yours as well. Cool. Hang on a minute. Red flag. Okay, so you've got your 5 ineligibles. That's fine. So what about, is there anything else you want in your bullpen? It looks a bit thin. Henry Brown, Tanana, Taylor. That's 4 people. But that's fine. I've actually got the same, so it actually makes sense. Right, so you're good. You're set. Right, guys, that's it. So I've done a little breakfast show here, and I will be on later because Beatles does his music, and he's done a good job all week. So he's been a busy boy all week, and I'll leave it to him tomorrow. Steve's probably not going to be back until mid next week. But what is Des Moines' record? So let's have a look, Rob. Let's have a look. Let's have a butcher's at it, shall we? Des Moines, I think, are about 500. In fact, here it is here. In fact, you're just above. 3.5, if you want to have a look at your rotation, your depth chart. What I did with Clue is sit down with him and listen to him, which is critical, because it does dictate quite a lot. The actual, as it should, the depth chart. And I did correct a few things with different people. And I'm quite happy to do anything on a Saturday morning where we adjust lineups for everyone. It makes it easier for Beatles and Steve, because I'm quite happy to do it, to adjust, and we can stay with this main file so we don't have to keep swapping it. Yeah, it's so tight. So Des Moines' record here, Rob, is let's have a look. Des Moines. You're 3.5 back. You're 14 and 13. Even me, all the way down here at 500, is still 13 and 13. It's crazy. I suspect, though, Jersey are going to start ramping up. I've lost a couple of players to injuries. Cleveland have as well. One of my big players is Chickstall. He's out. He is out. Looking at my lineup, my depth chart is what it should follow. Gibson, but I have a bit of a problem with my depth chart. DeHijo is the problem. I've moved him for Joe Morgan, but the problem is DeHijo is also in my bullpen. So he's going to get messed around. So Joe Morgan will play, start often as well, because it depends on whether DeHijo is pitching tired or not. Schmidt, that's fine. Rodriguez, that's fine. Left field is Teddy Ball game. Center field is Mickey Mantle. I'm trying to get Kenny in the game. And I'm toying with the idea of putting Mantle just to be a DH and put Kenny in center field, which actually makes a lot of sense. But Rip Collins, I've just put him in recently, and he's actually playing pretty well. There he is. He's only played a couple of at-bats, a small sample size, but all of a sudden I've got a dilemma. I'm thinking, hang on a minute. And Cecil is a lefty who only hits against one side, and I play him against lefties. Actually, he's not playing that well at all. So maybe my decision might be made already. Put Mickey in one of those positions and put Lofton at center field. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get in trouble for not answering my phone. So we're all familiar with that, and I shall be with you all soon. Tonight for sure, I'll be back online. God willing. I try my best, Big Clue. I try my best. I just want to protect the integrity of the league. We've all put so much hard work in. Steve has, you have, Beatles, Rob, Lawrence. I just want to make sure we play as accurate as we can. It's hard because obviously the mechanics of this action PC baseball are so deep. But I've kind of worked out the roster, the depth chart obviously makes sense. Because why else have a depth chart? But then you have to go into everything and change it around. If we can get as close to accurate to what we would like, then great. We're laughing. I think we're achieving that. So it's all good. Yeah, guys, take it easy. I will tell her. How did you know her name was Mel? But I must have said it out loud. But anyway, she's just on my case. Anyway, speak to you later, guys. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for writing Shotgun Clue, Rob. Thank you everyone else in the chat. See you guys later. See you later on in the night. Take it easy.